Evening people, good evening everyone. How are you all doing? Hopefully you're all doing very, very well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you very, very much. All right, what is there to talk about this evening? I'm interviewing AJ tomorrow. Just got confirmation from DAZN that I'm interviewing AJ at the London presser for his fight against Alexander Usyk. I've been told that my slot's about half an hour to 45 minutes, which is good as well. It's quite a good chunk to speak to the big man. Looking forward to it. I'll let you guys know how I get on tomorrow. And when I come back from interviewing AJ, we got Craig Richards coming. I'm pointing because he's going to sit there. Craig Richards will be in the studio tomorrow as well. Obviously going to reflect on that defeat to Joshua Buatsi and just have a conversation about everything, life, how he got into boxing, what next, what he does outside of the ring, because I feel like we don't know too much about the Spiders. So yeah, looking forward to speaking to Craig Richards. All right, let's start with this one for today's video. Danny Garcia, I'm moving up to 154 pounds to be a legend and a Hall of Fame fighter. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out, if I'm honest with you. Look, Danny Garcia was almost known for his power at 140. He knocked quite a lot of people out at 140 pounds. Those knockouts stopped at 147. So he's going to be severely undersized and under strength at 154 pounds. Look, I don't know if they just match him carefully and have fun fights, but I mean, if he wants to be, as he says, a legend and a Hall of Fame fighter, he might be talking about a title run. And that's not going to work. It's just not going to play out. But look, good luck to him. I mean, he's still relatively young. And you think of Danny Garcia, there hasn't been that much damage. He's had a long rest since the Errol Spence fight. So I'm guessing he's itching to kind of get in the ring again. But I don't know what he can do, especially if we're talking a title run at 154 pounds. Imagine how small he would look compared to that giant, was it Fundora? Fundora, the guy with the glasses that looks like a bit of a geek outside of boxing, but then when he gets in the ring, he's a bit of a killer. Yeah, good luck. This news I saw today and I thought it was very interesting. Chris Billam-Smith versus Isaac Chamberlain. Firstly, love the fight. But yeah, the second bit, that it was on Sky Sports, shocked me a little bit. Obviously, Chris Billam-Smith's been fighting on DAZN and Isaac Chamberlain's been fighting for Mick Hennessy on Channel 5. And now they're both coming together and fighting on Sky Sports. I did say that Sky are chucking a lot of money at this boxing thing. We've seen Joseph Parker recently leave DAZN to go over to Sky Sports. They signed a lot of the Olympians and must have offered a lot of money for fighters like Ben Whittaker. But yeah, it does surprise me a lot. I don't know where Isaac Chamberlain is. We've not really known too much about him since he's been fighting on Channel 5. I don't know how many people watch those fight cards. I watched him a little bit. His stock clearly went down with that Lawrence Okoli fight many years ago. He's built himself back up. I think he's got like an IBF international title. My only thing is I thought Chris Billam-Smith, and I think is fringe world level, and I thought he beat Tommy McCarthy, who I think is better than Isaac Chamberlain. He beat Tommy McCarthy, stopped him. And you're thinking, surely you're fighting someone that is world level next. And maybe all the belts are tied up and maybe all the world level guys have got fights coming up, but surely that's the next step. But I guess for Chris Billam-Smith, the opportunity was too good. He's going to get paid well. It's in Bournemouth, his hometown. So I guess you can't blame him for taking that. But look, Sky are doing the business. They really are. I remember when Eddie announced he's leaving Sky, I thought that was it for Sky and boxing. I swear to God. And you think, you know, they put on some decent cards since then. So yeah, good luck to them. What's this bit here? Very interesting, this story. Tommy Fury denied entry to the US August 6th fight with Jake Paul, now in holding pattern. Let me rephrase that. This is what it really should say. August 6th fight with Jake Paul, done. Like, that fight ain't happening. There's no way, Jose. And look, let's start with the issues here for Jake Paul first. I mean, what does he do? Does he scrap the card? I mean, look, Jake Paul's in a situation where A, look, it has to sell, and a fight with Tommy Fury would have sold, and B, he can't fight retired NFL and NBA players anymore. I think that sell's over. I don't think people are paying their money to see that, because they now believe that Jake Paul's on a level where he has to fight boxers. Tommy Fury ticks those boxes, doesn't he? He's a boxer. He's known because of his brother or because of Love Island. He's got a bit of a following around him. So it would have done decent numbers. So I do wonder what they do. Do they try and have the fight card in the UK? I doubt it. But I do wonder now if this fight goes ahead. Look, ideally, Jake Paul would want to fight some of the UFC guys, but they're locked into these ridiculous contracts that they can't get out. And they would all want to fight Jake Paul. You know, Jorge Masvidal would want to fight him. Nate Diaz said something on social media on his Twitter page, like, release me so I can handle my business. He wants to fight him as well. Obviously, he's not going to fight Conor McGregor. So look, the names that would have sold, he ain't going to get them. So I do wonder what happens with the card. As for Tommy Fury, obviously, look, he's been denied entry to the US because of his association with Daniel Kinahan. We keep hearing about this 500 or 600 man list of people that are associates or have links with Kinahan that are not going to be allowed in America. And he's clearly on that. And you must wonder that everyone associated with MTK must be on that list. Everyone. Some fighters, Sonny Edwards, like must be, Josh Taylor, people must be on this list. Crazy. I mean, I'm guessing they're not told they're on this list, or it'd be stupid to go to the airport knowing you're on it. Who knows? I mean, do you just go there and roll the dice? Crazy. It really is crazy. Frank Sanchez wants Deontay Wilder fight, says he'll knock out Wilder easily. I doubt that. Frank Sanchez is a very good boxer, by the way, but if anyone's knocking out anyone, I still would put my money on Deontay Wilder. Frank Sanchez is in a weird position. He's clearly a top 15 heavyweight. In fact, he could be heavy. In fact, he's a top 10 heavyweight. I can't name 10 heavyweights that beat Frank Sanchez. The problem is the risk-reward factor. The risk is you lose to Frank Sanchez. What's the reward? There's no name value. He doesn't put bums on seats. He doesn't have a title. You're not going to get paid big money. Why are you fighting him then? Like, honestly, why are you fighting him? Like, if Deontay Wilder were to come back, and look, Deontay Wilder, I think, is in this stage where people are so desperate to see him come back, he could fight anyone and it do good numbers. But if he were to come back and they put a list of fighters in front of him, he's not saying, yeah, give me Frank Sanchez. So Frank Sanchez can talk, but ultimately, he's not going to get the fight. I saw Chris Eubank Jr. tweet something about fight news coming. Let me get up his Twitter page. So I want to make sure I say it correctly. So what did he say? He said, planning that next move. This was June 27th. So when was that, a couple of days ago? Yesterday? I'm lost as to what day it is. I'm a big fan of... In fact, let me be honest. I was a big fan of Chris Eubank Jr. I'm still a fan, but I was a big fan. I feel like my expectations for him were just too big. They weren't helped by his dad early saying things like he's going to be better than Andre Ward and fucking Roy Jones. Remember all that shit? So that didn't help. But I think the problem is, it's me. I've got a problem. My expectations for Chris isn't Chris's fault. It's my fault. Like if Chris doesn't go on to become a world champion, and I mean a legit one, so not an IBO title, then that's my expectations that I had for him. Like, Chris's expectations could have been a lot different. I don't know. It's funny because I was talking to my friend Rory about this. We did a podcast and we were talking about Wayne Rooney and Gareth Bale, but particularly Wayne Rooney. And I was like, oh, Wayne Rooney could have been better, man. Should have been better. Like, when he was 19, him and Ronaldo were the same age. He was better than Ronaldo, and he was. Look what Ronaldo's gone on and done. And Rory was like, dude, so wait, you're upset with Wayne Rooney because he didn't fulfill your expectations of him. Wayne Rooney's got like 5 Premier League titles, a couple of FA Cups, England's record goal scorer. He had a very good career. And sometimes I think that's my issue with Chris. It's what I expected and what he's delivered. He's delivered very little and I expected a lot. I'm not joking, I expected everything. I looked at him and I thought, okay, this guy is in shape. That's one thing I say, boxers come in shape. He lived a life tick. He's got this persona where it's Marmite. You love him or you hate him, but you know what? You're going to tune in because you're either tuning in to cheer him or you're tuning in to see him get knocked out. And I thought, he will sell out the O2 Arena every week. He'll be a box office star. This is what I was thinking. That's not happened. When he jumped over the rope and it was reminiscent of his dad, obviously I'm at the age where I remember his dad and I was like, oh my God, sold. Chris, take my money. I'm with you. I'm on the bandwagon. Nothing's happened. Nothing. Like zero. Nothing's happened. Like the highlight for me of Chris Eubank Jr. is probably the Avni Yildirim fight where he just bashed him up and I was like, we've got something here. And then obviously got beat by George Groves. had the fight with James DeGale, and look, James was injured and James retired after, but what's he done since the James DeGale fight? That was 3-4 years. What's he done? Nothing. You don't need to waste your time looking. Done nothing. And I don't know why it annoys me. Again, I go back and say it's my fault. It annoys me because my expectations for him were too big. They were just too big. Again, it didn't help that his dad was talking Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd. But my expectations, aside from that was never going to happen. Andre Ward, all that shit was rubbish. But I still expected so much from Chris Eubank Jr. I remember a fight card, the AJ Dillian White fight. It's a good fight card, by the way. AJ Dillian White. Chisora was on that fight card. Paulie Malignaggi was on that fight card. Tony Bellew was on it. Luke Campbell. That's when they used to go big with these fight cards. Chris Eubank Jr. was on it against Spike O'Sullivan. And there was a time when Chris Eubank Jr. was getting interviewed next to AJ. And I remember thinking, that's it right there. That's the future of British boxing. Those guys are going to sell out arenas. And I remember Chris doing the ring walk, and then he stopped, as he always does, when he got on the apron and just done that look around, and the place went crazy. And I was thinking, they're here for AJ, but they love Chris. And I was thinking, this guy's going to deliver. And it doesn't matter if he loses. That's not a thing. You lose. Look at Chisora. But you know what? He's going to deliver, and he's going to be in big fights, and nothing. How many broadcasters has he been on? Like, how many channels has he been on? He's never had a home. I'm sure he's been on Channel 5. He's been on ITV. He's been on BT Sports. He's been on Sky Sports. He went to America and done the PBC thing. He's done everything. And I'm like, you don't even have there's been no consistency with your career. None. Took him so long to get a proper trainer because he didn't want to listen to his dad's old trainer. It took him so long to get Roy Jones, and that's not really worked out if we're being brutally honest. I don't know why I find it frustrating. I shouldn't, because Chris probably doesn't care. Chris is, you get some guys, you get some people just in life, and Chris could be that, where they don't want it as much as you want it for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I go back to a football one, Ricardo Quaresma. Do you guys remember him? Portuguese player. I'm telling you now, when he was around, I think he's about a year older than Cristiano Ronaldo, but basically when they were young, Ricardo Quaresma was the future. He was the baller. Started to party, lived the life, didn't really give a shit. I'm not going to say he would have gone on to win 5 Ballon d'Ors, but this guy was a baller, didn't really care. And I do wonder if Chris really, really cares. Because if Chris did really care, you know what he'll do? He wouldn't say planning that next move. He'll say, give me Jamal Charlo. Who's got the other belt? Give me Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius, I know you're going to go up to 168. Stick to 160, I want you. You know what he'll do? He'll go to the Canelo Golovkin fight and call out the winner. He won't get the fight, but call out the do everything. But no, he was chasing Kell Brook. We move on. What else is there? What else have we got? Canelo preferred immediate rematch with Bivol to Golovkin trilogy. Why didn't he have it then? We know Canelo's his own man. I mean, Canelo runs his ship. No boxer runs their ship like Canelo. If you wanted the immediate rematch, you could have got it. I guess that, again, it goes to the risk-reward thing. Maybe they looked at the numbers that Canelo did with Bivol. Maybe it wasn't what they were hoping to max out on. And they probably thought, you know what? Why risk it with this unbeaten, big, strong, young talent when we can fight a 40-year-old Golovkin and do better numbers? And it probably will do better numbers. So financially, Golovkin just makes a lot more sense. We'll see if it's the right decision in a couple of months, but financially it makes more sense. Eddie Hearn, if Chisora loses to Pulev, then I suggest he packs it up. A couple of things here. I guess it's how he loses. And I guess the bigger thing here is even if Hearn says to Chisora, you're done, I mean, we've seen already, there's so many broadcasts over here. Everyone's spreading themselves thin. Every broadcast needs more talent, needs more fighters, needs bigger stables. Like Chisora could easily just go to Frank Warren and say, I'm here, take me. Frank would, Sky would as well. So I think Hearn might not want him on Matchroom shows anymore, but he'll get on other shows. Couple of final bits, people. Eddie Hearn has interest in matching Katie Taylor against Holly Holm and Chris Cyborg. Why? Like, I did a video about this the other day. Why? Like, it makes no sense. It's not as though Katie Taylor doesn't have options. She has options. There's girls, at 130 that would jump up right now. Like, there's obviously a fight between Alicia Baumgardner and Michaela Myers. The winner of that wouldn't do it. The winner of that, Chantel Cameron. I know she's 140. She wouldn't kill herself to make 135 to fight Katie. She wouldn't. Jessica McCaskill wouldn't make Kelly a catchweight. There's too many fights for this one to happen. Like, Holly Holm, yes, I get she's an ex-boxer, but Holly Holm has been defending takedowns and leg kicks for the best part of 10 years. Even her as a boxer, she's not that skilled anymore. And Cyborg's never been a skilled boxer. Like, no, I just don't want those kind of fights, man. Dana White shoots down possibility of Mayweather-McGregor rematch. Why? Why does he even get the opportunity to shoot this shit down? The contracts that the UFC guys sign are staggering. Look, McGregor's done as an MMA guy. I love McGregor. Honestly, it's fucking fantastic. If you're McGregor and you're offered, do you want Nate Diaz again? Do you want Dustin Poirier? Do you want Charles Oliveira? Or do you want Floyd? Give me Floyd. Go and look at McGregor's face after the Floyd fight. Barely got a scratch on him. Got paid 100 million. Now, this fight won't do 4.1 million pay-per-view buys like the first fight did, but it might do 700,000. That's enough. The last time fucking McGregor was in an MMA ring, his leg got snapped in half. His leg was hanging off like that. Do you want that again? They're killers. Those guys in UFC right now are killers waiting for him. Mayweather's just a glorified sparring session for more money. He would take that. It must be the UFC that are trying to stop it from happening. Joke. Golovkin, Canelo. What is this one? What's this? Sorry, not that. Oh, this is interesting. Golovkin here says, Canelo is a better fighter since our second fight because his opponents are not as good as me. Agreed. Now, I know Canelo has said something quite similar, like along the lines of, like, Golovkin's going to see that I'm a much better fighter than I was before. Okay, look, Canelo, GGG will be surprised how much I've improved. I'm more motivated, more dangerous. He has improved, but every one of Canelo's opponents, Golovkin would have beaten up as well. Golovkin would have beaten up Billy Joe Saunders, Abner Yildirim, obviously, Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, that version of Kovalev. He would have beaten them all. He would have beaten them all. So yes, Canelo's obviously better. He's more improved. But Golovkin would have beaten those opponents. Would he have beaten them the same way? Probably. Honestly, probably. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Final one, we'll end on this. Anthony Yard on facing Beterbiev. Are there concerns? There are no concerns. Obviously, there are concerns. I mean, when you fight a guy that's unbeaten and has knocked out every single person he's fought, there are concerns. But that's what Yard should be saying. It's Tunde that should be looking at the concerns and thinking, okay, how do we navigate or find a way in which to kind of, get the win, get the W if this fight happens. We're here in October. But that's exactly what Yard should say. Anything else before we wrap? I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is it.